Do not limit God. God can sort you within seconds. Within minutes, you can be delivered and saved from your current situation. Never limit God. Many people always refer to God only when they have a small issue, when they think this one God can solve. In fact, when you have a cold or a little sickness, that's when you start saying, God, please heal me. I know you can help me. But when you have a big sickness, a serious sickness, that's when you start thinking, which doctor do I go to? So your trust is in a doctor for the big sickness. But when it comes to the small things, those are the ones who say, God will sort this one out. When you're struggling with little money, that's where you start talking about God. But when you're starting to think about big things, you want to build a big house, you want to buy land, you start thinking of a bank. God does not come into your equation at that point. My friend, do not limit God. Do you know who God is? Do you know He owns the entire universe? Do you know He can command even birds? Ask Elijah. Elijah was being provided by a raven. A raven was commanded by God to provide meat. I think it was roasted meat. It was fully cooked, and Elijah was receiving it. God can command a widow to provide for you. Look at what happened with Elijah, the same Elijah. Very interesting story. This widow had nothing. They had only one packet of flour. But this is a person that God has commanded to provide for Elijah. My friend, do not limit God. That whatever you are going through, whatever you are asking God for, whatever you are praying God, stop limiting God. That church you have been believing for, my friend, as a pastor, don't limit God. God can give you a very big piece of land. Don't limit God. That business you have been praying for, you've been saying that one day I want to start a business. My friend, stop limiting God. God can change tables within one night. Ask Elisha. It took one day to change the economic situation of a whole nation. A nation was in pain. People were hungry. It had gotten to a point people were even eating each other. People were talking about, can we eat your child today? Because people were struggling with hunger. People were dying of hunger. But it took only one word of a prophet and said, by this time tomorrow, everything changed. Don't limit God. That thing that seems so difficult, that situation where you're crying every day, the landlord is calling you and now you're panicking, you don't know where to start. My friend, God can change that entire situation. You can be the landlord tomorrow. That's how God works. You might think that you're almost dying. Tomorrow, you can be the one walking around. People will be wondering, this person was sick. We were contributing money for this person. They were supposed to go for a surgery next week to India. Then you realize God has saved you, healed you. God can change your situation. Right now, you're crying, you're lonely. You're thinking, God, what do I do? I have been divorced 3 times. I can't even get back into... Don't limit God, my friend. Allow God to operate in your space. Invite Him into your space. Make sure God is number one. In the beginning, God. Make sure God is at the forefront of your situation. Call Him into your situation. You'll be shocked.